Hi everyone, welcome to our tournament on 27th. Got some interesting openings already. I'm not sure what happened exactly on board one. I'm guessing it was a D4 opening, but I'm not sure beyond that. I think white is the better position since they have complete command of the center. Open F5 for the rook. Black's bishop's a little bit trapped. But otherwise, black's doing okay. Check the material. Okay, so material's even. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's cool to be able to play against, a really strong player. Um, yeah, I think black's doing okay here, though I'd prefer white. Then on board two, just kind of knowing what I know about the players, I think it was a Sicilian with a Smith Mora. Maybe black tried to take on d4, then defend the pawn on d4 by playing e5. Not the best strategy because you leave the d6 square really weak, and the d5 square. Though after after white captured there on c6, now the pawn protects d5. I think white has a slightly better position here as well, but it's really just getting started. Can't really say for sure. Yeah, and then over here, I was trying to figure out what was going on here. Maybe black played like e6 and d6, or d6 and e6, something like that. Um, yeah, I mean, let's white take over the center, but it's just sort of a hyper modern idea where you're going to try to hit back at the center, and you're going to put pieces to control the center, which is what black's doing with their bishops. Even though both bishops are on the b file, they're still exerting control over the center. And the bishop on b7, obviously hitting through the center, and then the bishop on b4 pins the knight or stops it from moving, and the knight is helping white control the center. So by pinning the knight, you take that knight out of the picture. So yeah, takes pretty interesting game on board three. Yeah, I know if Connor's playing, the game is just getting started. Connor's very good about taking his time. And, 40 minutes, pretty long time control. So I would use the time. So it looks like we have a Sicilian, like a Grand Prix attack style. Really too early to say what's going to happen from here. I looked into the Grand Prix for a while because I like pushing the F pawn early, being a King's Gambit player. I was never really able to make it work. Honestly, you can really make any opening work for you as long as you know the ideas and you kind of accept that you're not, if your opponent plays the best way, you may not get an advantage. But if you know the position's better than your opponent, that's worth probably more than having a good position on the board. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, Queen D2. Okay, so giving black the opportunity to trade bishop for knight, force white to take with the G pawn. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting decision. Normally you don't want to do this because it opens up your king. But here's the thing: since white has such great control of the center, when you control the center, generally you control the game, and it's going to be really hard for black to get their pieces over to the king side. In fact, if anything, white's going to try to make use of the open G file. So yeah, I think really, uh, subtle decision here. Okay, yeah, for sure. The knight's going to try to jump over, and if the knight can try to get control of these dark squares, that will give the knight a lot more chances than when it was kind of stuck on c6. So, I prefer white here. They have iron grip on the center. It's like warship of pawns. And black has no pawns. All right, so we actually see black has managed to get some control of the center over here. All right, we'll definitely take another look at this game. Couple things going on that we'll see what the players notice. Both of them moving kind of fast, so they might be missing some things. But now I think black has the better game, I'll have to say. Just kind of, materials equal. All right, yeah, that's a good move. I think black missed just bishop takes f2, king takes, knight takes e4, double check, and then knight takes bishop. Black would have won a couple pawns, at least. Yeah, definitely trading out that bishop is smart. So now it's just pretty equal. Actually, maybe white can attack this d pawn on the open file. So black should, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's a good game over here. Pretty close. Oh, I see. Bishop b5. Then that chased away the rook. First, I was a little confused why the bishop is out there. Okay. Oh, this is great. I mean, all the games are really close. All right, so this was like the hyper modern game. Hyper modern it refers to a style popularized back in like the 1920s, 1930s by players like Nimzovich and Reti. And their whole idea was rather than put pawns in the center, like, everyone was doing and what you're usually taught, they'd rather attack the center from the side and try to put pieces in the center. So we kind of saw black was doing that with like their bishops on the side and their pawns not really in the middle. And I mean, well, okay, so black was up a pawn. I actually thought black was doing really well, but the more I look at it, actually white's bishops are kind of strong. Yeah, rook to d1 puts the rook on the open file. And things are a little iffy for black. Yeah. I have to take a look. Okay, yeah, bishop d6. That was like the only move. All right, so white should be fine here. White actually has a few directions they can go if they want to regain the pawn right away or try to put more pressure on black. So we'll see. Plenty of time to think about it. Yeah, actually, in all these games, white has a bit of pressure. Yeah, and then we're pretty much still in the opening here. Yeah, just still really equal. So it looks like black on board 2 and rook b8, pawn b3. Yeah, no, definitely white's now doing pretty well. Huh, Hmm. Yeah, maybe black shouldn't have taken the bishop here, because that actually kind of helped the rook become more active. Maybe they should have moved the bishop somewhere else. Yeah, here we see white kind of creating the squeeze. It's looking pretty unpleasant for black. But black's hanging in there. Let's see. But well, for a moment I was looking at like getting a pawn to g5 and then the knight to f4. But that looked way too risky. Just leaving all these white squares open. Maybe he should have. I don't know. Oh yeah, so on board 3, yep. So Jesse gets the pawn back right away. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I'm not sure what the best way would be there. I mean, he also had maybe knight to e4. But yeah, this looks like a nice, easy solution too. And black still has to deal with that pin. So I don't know. I guess white's a little better. But it should be an interesting endgame. And over here, we're kind of moving towards another interesting endgame. Yeah, all the players are pretty strong today. Yeah, okay. Queen G2, that definitely looked pretty strong. But yeah, Queen C7, I like this move. It eyes over here, eyes F4, protects the pawn on F7. So that was definitely like a must-do move. Oh, so black chose, I guess, rook C8 and rook C7. Yeah, I thought he might just go king E7 and then bring the rook down or just move the knight away. Now this is looking pretty good for white. And then yeah, speaking of more pins on the D file, another unpleasant pin. So black defends things this way. Okay, yeah. Looks reasonable enough. Play rook D2. Okay. Then rook E. Mm. Yeah, again, not really sure why black could still have gone king E7, but and here, okay, white does rook C1. Oh, and then C5. Yeah, I was like, okay, so D6 is a weakness, but oftentimes to win a chess game, you need to have two weaknesses to attack. So C6, the C6 pawn was another weak pawn. Black pushed it, but now you're dealing with a very weak square at D5. So white immediately jumps in there. Okay, yeah. Might be okay. Yeah, we see white getting a lot of pressure over here. Oh, white, okay, white decides to jump in right away. Okay. Bishop d7, yep. Hmm. All right. Ah, so whose turn? So this, he moved away, and then rook g8. Yeah, interesting. I wasn't. Yeah, so the bishop stays on this diagonal, targeting the f pawn. Definitely makes sense. Thought there were also an argument for going to this diagonal, but yeah, bishop's definitely very strong on a2. So okay. So now, at least after rook g8, this knight can move. There's no checkmate anymore. Not sure where it's going, so we'll see. Okay, black did there. Well, okay. Well, now I think things have taken a turn in black's favor. They get a protected pass pawn and stop things up on the d file. Huh, rook d4, was that good? Maybe he could have gone rook c4 instead, forcing that rook to do something, and then you keep. Yeah, I think rook c4 would have been better instead of trading off the rooks. So, okay, I definitely like black's position now on board 2. Just shows you how quickly things can change. It's not like white, calculated incorrectly. Like, this is definitely what he had in mind. But I think white just judged the position incorrectly. You give black a really powerful pawn, and you block the d file, which is where you're attacking the weak d6 pawn. So right after rook d4, I think white should have gone rook c4. I have to take a look at the position, but I think that would have been stronger. Actually, there might be something interesting here for white. Let's see. Yeah, we see. Oh, no space at all for black. Yeah, b4 stops the knight from going to c5. Maybe you can even establish the knight on c6. Oh, what a nightmare for black. Yeah, knights are very powerful on the 6th rank. They're just like, they control so many squares in the enemy's camp, and they still control a lot of the center squares as well. All right, white plays queen d3. Okay, looks okay. Okay, white decides to go queen g4. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess it's too late now. I was thinking, white could have tried maybe b4, and then if pawn takes, the queen, even when it was back on d1, could go to b3 check, and then winning back the pawn. Then black's left with 2 isolated double pawns. Yeah, e4. Really don't like that because now this is a weakness. Always be very careful about pushing your pawns, especially in the endgame, because they make irreparable weaknesses. I feel like it's one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is in the end game, they just start pushing those pawns. And it's like, no, you're making your pawns weak. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough end game for white. Got the protected pass pawn. All right, good. Rook b1, and a must move. You cannot give up control of the open file. Black was about to go rook b7, rook b4. Easy win. So both sides need to be somewhat cautious. Don't just randomly push pawns or randomly move pieces around. Try to improve your position a little bit with each move. Don't have to go for like a knockout. Let's see. What is black doing? Oh, they went back here? Okay. Thought actually black could maybe try like b5 and rook b7, putting up a defense on the 7th rank and guarding the f-pawn that way. Surprised. Thought white was maybe going for like h4 here. So he goes here. I'm trying to maybe get in some tactic. Bishop takes f7. But now queen f4. Yeah, I mean, I think trading queens is definitely in black's interest. To stop white's attack. Well, it's still a hard position for black. Good. White brought out their king, blockades the pawn. Black's also getting their king out in the game. Yeah, so, this game, materials equal. You think, oh, okay, draw. But that's almost never the case. Never, ever, ever the case. Somebody almost always wins the game. Not necessarily the person with even the extra pawn, let's say, no, not in this case, or in the or who has a better position. Often the person who wins the endgame is just the person who has studied the endgame more, and they understand, things like having an active piece is more important than having a pawn. Control open files with the rooks. Don't move your pawns and make weaknesses. Just, very basic things like that. And they also take their time as well. I mean, it wouldn't be a commentary without me going on some kind of endgame rant. So I guess we're gonna get it early. But I do have to say both players look well. All right, Taj could take his time more, but overall both players are going slow, making good moves. So that's good to see. Because I mean, look, even if you don't really, even if you've never studied the end game, you don't really know much about it. Just taking your time can really help. And then you'll figure out the best move that way. Yeah. So it looks like white avoided the trade of rooks. Yeah, I mean, of course. Otherwise, the pass pawn is just not the extra pawn, but the pass pawn is just way too strong. All right, so yeah, board 4 is still, I would say, in the opening phase. We're about to enter the middle game phase. Yeah, I mean, looks pretty equal to me. It's like white decided to trade the bishop here. Makes sense. In the end game, black's pawns will be weaker, though we're a long way away from that. It's also a somewhat close position, which will favor the knights over bishops. Though even that's still early to say. I mean, the d6 bishop is fine. It's controlling a lot of good squares. And the d7 bishop has different avenues to get open. Whose turn is it? It's white's turn. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of positions that look similar to both sides. And, I'd be happy as white here or happy as black. Okay. Ooh, I'm just like, man. Yeah, looks like white is pushing forward here. Still gonna be pretty hard game. Yeah. See what happens over here. This game, white decides to push f4. I always start to get worried. We'll see. Sometimes it's best just to hang tight rather than force things, but we'll see. Never know. All right, we see white still deciding on should they trade here, or what should they do? Leave this guy here. Black's trying to get some activity with their pawns, but again, it may have been in Black's best interest just to sit put. I know that's hard to do, but again, when you push these pawns, they no longer protect each other as well, and you make weaknesses. Okay, white move. They went queen f3. Yeah, I mean, try to get the queen over to the king side. All right, so again, really great games. No one has yet really broken through, so we'll see. Definitely come back to these guys. Yeah, it's kind of what I expected today. A lot of really good players. And so no easy wins. All right, so reserve started. Okay. Looks good. Well, we got, I guess white got to do the fork trick over here. Yeah, really a lot of similar structures, right? A lot of e4, e5s. Very good structure to start learning from. Learn to play the open systems. Maybe did white start with e3? I don't know. White doing a new system. I think the person playing white beat Kieran in the last tournament. It's a chance for Kieran to uh, get some revenge on Kabir, but we'll see. Game just began. All right, I like having the two bishops out here. Cool. So these guys just started. Yeah, I mean, just the thing I noticed the most is the e4, e5 pawn structures. Looks like pretty good game. So we'll come back to these guys. I just think there might be some developments over here. Oh, he did. Did he trade? Oh, I wish I could have seen what happened. That's the only thing you can't like. So maybe white played like bishop e6. And then okay, so black must have traded. And the knight went here. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Thought maybe white could have gone bishop takes f7 actually after queen f4. Then like queen takes, pawn takes, threaten the knight. And then like the knight moves, bishop g6. I don't know. Maybe that's what white was calculating. But then I guess the thing is king moves. Bishop is sort of stuck there, or your pawns aren't so good. So I don't know. So let's take a look at this situation. Man, I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened. Oh, maybe he. Oh, he must. Yeah, maybe he did take. I forgot there were two pawns here. Kept thinking black pushed to f6, but that's not right. Oh, maybe he took. Oh, of course. Bishop takes pawn. Queen takes queen. Pawn takes queen. Knight moved. Bishop e6. Knight c8. Something. And then knight d6. Okay, yeah. Bishop takes f7. That was a nice tactic. That's the thing. Like it seems, whenever it seems like your opponent's about to get out of something, even when it seems like it shouldn't be true, like it shouldn't seem right, they're able to get out of a situation where they have a worse position. Look for a tactic. That's what White found. So yeah, okay. So White's up a pawn, and yeah, I definitely think White is now driving. Not easy, but yeah, doing pretty good. Okay, over here, I guess Black's still thinking on the move f4, and Black's pushing their pawns over here. Yeah, I think White has a little bit of an initiative, but see how Black handles it. Yeah, we'll be a good game. All right. Oops, we were just. All right, guys. Let's see anything going on. Okay, yeah, White has those very nice bishops. Oh, g6. You hate to make a move like that if you're Black. So yeah, Black's definitely under a lot of strain here. So we'll see. Got some weird stuff going on here. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, so Black's able to get up a pawn, or not a pawn, a piece. White's got some open H file excitement. Yeah, I mean, Queen G1. Just kind of a funny little castle situation over here. All right. Okay, pretty interesting. Oh, they drew. All right. I mean, definitely encourage you guys to play games out. Don't resign. Of course, you still have to force your opponent to prove they know how to checkmate you. I mean, some people just really don't know how to checkmate. So always want to make them prove that. And there's always stalemate. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know why they took a draw. Maybe, there's some reason I don't know about. But I mean, you got a really interesting position here. Why draw? Why not play it out? Right? If you're taking a draw, well, I don't know the situation, but just in general, if you're taking a draw because like you're scared, you don't know if you can win. I mean, you're just not going to learn that way, and eventually you're going to find yourself in a higher pressure situation. Maybe you're playing for first, and if you're just used to taking the draw, you're never going to win the big game. Always going to get a draw, and what's the fun in that? I see Mateo doing one of his favorite things, the hammer, basically just pinning a piece. And yeah, making life pretty miserable for his opponent. Oh, we got checkmate here. Nice. All right. Classic mate. Queen in front of the king, and a piece protects it. I have another draw here. All right, people. I mean, what is this? I mean, again, maybe there's some reason I don't know about. I thought I was just going to be going on rants about endgames today, as usual. But what's up with these draws? I mean, I think white has the better position, but I mean, black has a better pawn structure. Still a lot to play for. You could just go king g7, protect the knight. Yeah, I always just make a simple rule. Don't offer draws, don't accept draws, just play. All right, so over here. Oh no, looks like white just gobbled a piece. Okay, so we'll come back to these guys. Go to reserve. Oh my. All right, yeah, it looks like white's putting the squeeze on black. No, this was a tough game, tough game. And then rook g8 just seals it. Oh, good game, guys. Okay, board 2. All right, now this is wow, it's almost like a study. I don't know who's gonna come out ahead this one. Yeah, it's almost like a study position. Both sides are gonna get protected passers. All right, so Taj, please take your time. You have a ton of time compared to your opponent. In pawn endings, you can't just rely on ideas. You actually have to calculate specific moves. Oh, and then board 3 got crazy. It's like the king taking a walk on the wild side over here. All right, and then here, so I guess we've crossed over to the middle game. Yeah, h6. I mean, not really a move you want to make. Makes a weakness. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Pretty tight game. Yeah, black's gonna have to figure out how to get bishops active. Otherwise, I think white is just kind of better. I mean, white has open file to attack. Pieces are all, sort of aimed at the king side. And not really sure what black is gonna do. Yeah, no, I like this a lot. Draw the pieces away from the king side. Let's see where white's going with this. I think I know. Actually, this could be very dangerous. So why would white trade that really nice knight for the bishop that wasn't so good? Well, I think we're gonna get an answer fairly soon. Yeah, push the pawn to e5. Suddenly, black's got nobody over here. White has a queen and a rook over here. Bishop can easily jump in any moment. This is looking kind of dangerous. See what black does. All right, and white's rolling. Oh, white moves a block with the rook or something. All right, got an interesting one on board 3. So it's black's turn. Okay, so he could decide to trade off that hideous knight. Now white's got the active king. Yeah, and then over here, I think we're just kind of a situation. Both sides, anytime Taj pushes to f5, we'll have the protected passer. But you don't even have to do that. You could just sort of wait around. Yeah, is there anything black can do? I don't know. Looks like, okay. Looks like they're going back and forth here. Oh, black does trade off the knight. I don't know. It's going to be a sloppy one over here. I mean, not sloppy meaning the players are being careless, just sloppy in the sense, I mean, there's just pieces all over the board. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, cool. So all right, so white won here. Good game. Yeah, the players drew. Yeah, I think that's the right result. I don't see any way to break through. So really good game on board too. I think white had the initiative. He handed it back to black. And then white was able to play pretty good endgame and draw. And same to black. Have to take a look at that endgame more closely, but just looking at it from what I saw, looked like really good game. All right, good game, guys. All right, we got a couple of active kings. So it looks like white's going to be up a pawn, but who knows? Rook end games are notorious for being very drawish. Yeah, bishop c7. I think you had to, otherwise, white's just going to push the f pawn. So now, if she pushes the f pawn, she could, but then the e pawn falls. No, I think white has a nice game here. All right. All right, this ended up being, yeah, another interesting one too. Black's up a knight. Oh, okay, white offers a trade of queens. And then what about the pawns? Pawns are equal, so we'll see if black can convert the extra knight. All right, let's mate here. Yeah, looks like white may pull this one out. Tough one. Oh, then we're back to endgameville over here. All right. So it's black's turn. Yeah, that's important whose turn it is. Because in the end game, every move counts. In the I mean, depends what position, but in the middle game, if you make like a mistake with a piece, generally there's time to move it to the correct square, but not necessarily in the end game. One move can make all the difference. Imagine if you get a pawn to a queen before your opponent. That one move can make a big difference. So yeah, I mean, if it was white's turn, say white probably had the advantage. Black's turn makes it closer. We'll see. Mm. Well, a little bit was I was afraid. Oh, he moved the rook. But the rook was pinning the king to the side of the board, the H file. So that was in black's favor. But he decided to move the rook. Okay. Yeah, now the king comes out. Oh, yeah, the problem is white's up a pawn, but all his pawns are isolated. Meaning they don't have any friendly guys on either side of them to help protect each other. So I don't know. It's not an easy endgame for white, but I mean it's pretty safe for white. Like at worst, it'll probably be a draw. Rook B1. Don't like to make moves like that, but maybe. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, we'll see. Still watching this rook endgame between Jesse and Leo. Yeah, okay. I think it's good for Jesse to get his king centralized. When it was on the edge, I mean, king is one of your best fighters in the endgame. If the king was just a regular piece, it'd be worth about 4 points. So more than a knight, more than a bishop. Yeah, rook g8, good move. In rook endings, often it's more important to have an active rook and not as important to have more material. Take a quick look at reserve for under 1,000. No, Dean fights hard. Got to give him that. Okay, rook ending over here. Okay, looks like black's about to pick up this guy. I don't know. This one's going to be interesting too. Oh, oh my. So again, the key in rook endings is to have an active rook. Then try to have an active king. Then you can worry about, what's going on with the pawns. Yeah, it just seems like, wait, what? Oh, he goes this way. Okay. I don't know. I mean, white's rook is pretty nice. Well, okay, let's see what white does. Oh, white went here. Pretty ambitious. Let's see. I don't know. See, so white's banking on they have time to get this guy and stop the pawns and then try to get their own pawns going. Huh, just like in the other game, all black's pawns are isolated. Yeah, good job, black. I was afraid black was gonna maybe go over to rook h4. That'd have been terrible. Then white just goes rook a7, a4, and then this rook on h4 is just dreadful. It can't help its pawn advance, and it's just stuck. All right, but now black's like, fine, take my pawn, but I got this guy coming. See when it takes, boom. Yeah, okay, so what? All right, cutting it close, white. Cutting it real close. Yeah, the king maybe wanted to be over on the king side rather than jump around to E7 up there. Oh yeah, okay, well, white's plan worked. Yeah, tough lesson for black. So, okay, couple things. So maybe king E7 to king D6 was not a good idea. And the king could have stayed back here to stop the pawns. And then rook B1 obviously just wasted time. He had to go right back. So even after getting the king to the worst square, he could have still maybe gone rook F1, rook takes pawn, rook takes F2, swung the rook around. Not so good, but at least it gives you better chances to defend. Yeah, and then this this game turned out interesting. Yeah, this poor guy got stuck over here. Let's see if White can do anything about that. Yeah, you gotta treat your pieces nicely. Don't stick them out in Siberia. Probably Black was trying to go after some pawns, but you gotta think, okay, well, if when White does their move, is my piece still gonna be good? All right, let's head back to the other position. Oh man, it's a good one. Let's go here. I played F6. So she went queen G4. All right, let's see what White has in mind. Okay, so Black to move. Oh, it's Black. Jeez. Means only one thing for Black to do, right? I don't know. It's gonna be very, very interesting. So White's made a lot of progress, but Black, well, not sure what they did, but hopefully they didn't waste too much time getting this position. He takes. I was gonna go B3. Hmm. Okay. Okay. A little confused. Okay. See what White does. Okay, over here. Yeah, I guess White had to take. And I don't like things as much for White. Still okay, but now open file for Black. Knight comes back to its spot to help protect the king. Yeah, I think Black's doing okay. And then White's just kind of behind in development. So Rook B1, probably not a good move. Not sure what White could have done. Just looking at Queen G4 earlier or Queen H3, just trying to get an F5. So I don't know. Maybe moving the knight and then trying to go like Bishop E3. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe even like D4, Queen takes, Bishop E3. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to give a pawn for all that. Queen G6. Okay, looks pretty good. All right. Okay, King D. Yeah, King D4. He has to go right back to F8. What was the plan? I think Black could be getting squeezed. Come back. Oh yeah, okay. White was already winning. Yeah, White's made good use of, their activity. And now, well, the knight is trying to come back. It'll be a slow road. All right, let's see what black does. Oh man, poor black doesn't have much time either. Well, at least Kiran handles time pressure well. No, I'm just kidding. All right, good game. Good game on board 7 over here. I mean, hey, you're gonna have to learn how to play under time pressure sometime. There you go. Okay, good move. Now king moved away. I can just picture Kiran chewing his shirt. It's all right, Kiran, you can do it. And good job to White. White's played really good game after somehow losing a piece. All right, let's check in real quick. Future Masters. Wow, it's great. We still have 2 games going. Normally, actually, Future Masters plays kind of quick and they're done, but not today. So he must have played Queen D4. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. And yeah, looks like White's gonna pull out of this one. Really good game, guys. So listen, I mean, Black didn't find the right idea, but he still took his time and at least gave himself the best chance. I mean, yeah, sometimes the other person just knows more than you, and all you can do is give yourself the best chance to find a good move. And you do that by taking your time and giving maximum effort. Okay, so I think White's gonna win that one. Don't know about board 4. Oh, I thought he might be going to H4, but he goes here. Okay. Yeah, now White's getting a little bit of time pressure. Nothing too serious yet. Okay, so she did decide to trade. Hold up, y'all can hear me. And let's see. Okay. Yeah, Bishop F4. Yeah, I think, had to do that. What Black was, yeah, attacking H2. So it gives up a pawn? Is that right? All right, so I think Black's coming head here, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, White wins here. Ah, looks like Black couldn't take the pressure. Yeah, tough game. No, you guys both played really hard. Looks like Kabir's gonna survive. Another game against Kieran. All right, so this game's still going on Future Masters. See what happens. I guess Black's now up a pawn. Yeah, so Black should win, but we'll see. Oh, cool. So, Alana, are you there? So I think we're gonna stop here, right? But yeah, it should be really interesting tournament. Okay. All right. Good luck, everybody, in the rest of the rounds. I'll be, popping in and out. And yeah, we'll